know our next guest has been on the show numerous times, and his office has been on the show numerous times, covering the Westlake landfill, the burning landfill that sits in and among a nuclear waste dump, believe it or not. Representative Bill Otto. Representative, welcome back to Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You are a Democrat, so you sat and watched what transpired late last week in Jefferson City with Speaker of the House John Diehl resigning just hours before the end of the session. As you watched, what did you think of all that?
It's an unfortunate situation at absolute best. The Speaker obviously made some ridiculous mistakes, and I thought about this last week when this started to unfold. I knew he was going to be here, and they had two answers to that. One is, had he not resigned, we'd be thinking about more of an investigation, what to do, where to go, and how to make that happen. But his decision to resign, not only from the Speaker's position, from his seat, sort of put this where it belongs, and that is with the Speaker and the young lady involved and their respective families. So I'm of course disappointed that these things happened, but I'm pleased with how it was played out.
What was your relationship with Speaker Diehl?
Just one of the legislators. He obviously ran the floor. Nothing nefarious. It was a cordial relationship, not a big deal. He represents an area very close to where I'm at, and we ran into each other on various functions and all that.
Stacy Newman, another Democrat, was here last week, and she said that if her daughter were to go be an intern down in Jefferson City, she would be very leery, and told parents that if you're sending your child down there, be very leery and make sure you know which legislator they're working for.
It's hard. I don't see a lot of that. My wife tells me I have sort of blinders on about that thing. It isn't anything that I'd be involved in. I think more than anything, there's this culture of entitlement that sort of pervades on there, where folks think that they're above the rules, or that you go for a meal or two here, you go to a couple of ball games, pretty soon you're introducing legislation proposed by somebody else and moving you up in leadership, and all of a sudden your responsibility to either your constituents or to the office seems to take a back seat. And it is unfortunate it happens. It just is, but I try hard to make sure that my office treats people the way they need to be. We've had interns before. Never an issue, never will be. This is just one of those odd things I have a hard time understanding. I have a grandchild. The granddaughter just turned 18. And I know that young ladies can be, what they are. And I know she's an adult, but I would be very unhappy if her boss or a legislator or anybody that had an opportunity to take advantage of her did. So I certainly understand Stacy's concerns. Representative
Bill Otto is with us. Bill, I have to ask you the question, under the circumstances, are you having a inappropriate texting relationship with any of your interns down in Jefferson City?
Gosh. No, I don't. Texting is an interesting way to communicate. I don't think it works very well. Sure. Oh, yeah, you have to. I mean, I have it right here in case Harvey's got something he needs to tell me real quick. So, No, that whole concept of texting, communicating with a 19-year-old, I don't care what it would. What it is.
I didn't say texting. I said sexting.
No.
Send any nude pictures of yourself to anybody we should know about?
I have to be honest with you. Until you told me what it was, I'm not sure I'd know what to do with it. No, you don't want to picture me in any clothing other than this. My wife even thought I should put a tie on this morning. I said, I'm going on radio. I think it's okay.
That's exactly right.
You look great.
Where are we with the Bridgeton landfill / nuclear waste dump?
Facebook this morning, apparently over the weekend, there's a pipe that's spewing just this gross-looking liquid out of the ground right now, and it's bubbling up, and I don't know. Unfortunately, it's hard to know what's coming out of the ground and what's getting into the atmosphere. But if you just look at the video of this stuff, this cauldron of boiling material, it just looks bad. We have a Monday morning conference that we do with the Department of Natural Resources and all of the community agencies around the landfill. I'll get an update on that today, but probably the biggest thing, they have expanded, EPA has asked for and begun expanding testing for radioactive material in and around where they know it's at, and that's important because there really is no real understanding of where all the material is, and that's very important. This has to be dealt with at some point, And the only way to do it is to know where the material is. And additionally, if we have an incident and first responders have to get there, they need to know where it's safe to be.
We had on somebody last week talking about the EPA and their idea that they want to regulate some exhaustion, which will help the ozone layer, and these new laws coming from the EPA. And okay, that's fine if everything's hunky-dory, but does the EPA understand that they have a burning landfill inside a nuclear waste dump? It seems to me that the EPA is not taking this as seriously as they should.
I think there are numerous folks that aren't taking this as seriously as they should, and it seemed to me such an important issue for North County in general. There has been lots of cases of unusual cancers. If you spoke, you know about in North County. This just something that needs to be dealt with. It's been there for years. One of the updates I want to give you from Dawn and Karen, they went to Washington, D.C. week before last. And as you know, they go places. They got to Washington, D.C. by selling T-shirts and bumper stickers.
Right.
So, and passing the hat at meetings. So they managed to get up there, had a pretty good meeting, had already met with Congressman Clay, so that was out of the way. They met with Senator Blunt and Senator McCaskill. The only issue that turned out is that apparently Congressman Wagner wasn't interested enough to be able to meet with the folks. In fact, her aide that they did get a eventual meeting with forgot the meeting and didn't show up themselves. So, but otherwise, they felt like it was a good meeting. They're getting the point across, or trying to get a point across that this is a huge issue for North County, and it has an emotional drain on the community, and that's what they were trying to get across as much as anything else.
How come Jefferson City? How come we pay you guys for meal money?
Wait! What happened? What happened to landfill? We
finished the landfill. There's only so much time.
I know.
Because you weren't wearing a tie, I figured I can go back here. So we taxpayers pay you a salary, and then we pay you legislators meal money and expenses to get to and from, and meal money, and yet you continue to take free lunches from lobbyists, and you can't even pass a law that says you won't take free meals from lobbyists.
I couldn't agree with you more. This is a segue right into my wheelhouse. I have never taken, I don't take meals from lobbyists. I do attend meetings. There's been many times I've gone. It's paid for by somebody, but I always reimburse them with my own personal funds. You're right. We get paid $103 a day. The amount of food, and that's what I say, when we legislators begin to feel like they're entitled, that there should be a meal somewhere every evening between the meals and the ball games and going to the bars at night in Jefferson City. This is a culture that's sort of taken over. And at the moment, I don't see with this majority that we're ever going to pass an ethics reform. They want to leave like a $25 limit and all this. I don't understand why we just don't ban it. Taxpayers pay me to eat down there. It's plenty of money, plenty of food, and this concept that we have to go. It is. It's if you want to feel important, you go to a dinner somewhere. Somebody hands you a piece of legislature. Pretty soon you're on the floor arguing for it.
Is it true that last week you were debating on the floor an ethics bill and called off the debate to go get free lunch?
Not the House.
Not you. The House did.
No, not the House.
The House. Did the Senate do that?
It had to be in the Senate.
Okay.
Whatever they did last week, I don't. No, not with us. I can tell you one time, my legislative assistant said, "Hey, look at this email," and somebody had put on an email out in the Capitol that said, there are legislators that are hungry. Does anybody know where some food is? And I was like, and she showed me that. Marilyn showed me. She said, "Hey, you got to look at this." And it is so. It's not like my first thought is take $5, go down to the cafeteria, give those people there a few bucks that are trying to feed you anyway, and pay for your lunch.
Right.
But instead, it's like too often it's like, well, where's our next meal? And I try. The one thing that the speaker did this year is they eliminated meals at committees. I always was a little uncomfortable with that. I was terribly uncomfortable with that. People drive we'll have a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. They have to leave St. Louis at 5:30 to get there, to get prepared and all that. And while they're trying to give testimony, we're stuffing our faces with food. I've never been comfortable with that. I honestly, I have indulged, but I was very happy that that was no longer part of the process.
Representative Bill Otto is a Democrat. What's your district? It's up in
70th district, 70th House district. I know it doesn't mean a lot, but it's one of these odd districts. It's Hazelwood and Bridgeton, including the landfill, comes along the river down Maryland Heights west of 270, takes a chunk of Chesterfield, and then to just really make sure the district's interesting, goes across the river into St. Charles County. Oh. So you can't actually drive around my district and stay in it. You have to go over bridges and through roads.
Do you have Cottleville?
Is it Cottleville? I have a part. Yeah, I think it's all unincorporated St. Charles, but it is a Cottleville zip code.
You might be my guy. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I've looked you up.
Right. Fair enough. It's stalking me. All right. Representative Bill Otto, you're always welcome here. Thanks for checking in.
You have a big announcement, too, though, don't you?
We have filed to run for Congress in the 2nd Congressional District, but with all of this stuff happening with the legislator and all that, we've decided to actually put off the public announcement for a week or so.
Yeah, so don't mention it here.
Yeah, don't say a thing. I just was something we were going to kind of keep quiet for a little bit.
All right. Representative Bill Otto not mentioning anything about running for the 2nd Congressional District. Representative Bill Otto, always a pleasure. Thanks for checking in.
Very much.
When you do announce it, why don't you break it here?
Sure.
All right, there you go.
All right, talk to you later.
7:32 here, Big 550 KTR.